And I think it just opened, I think Saturday in China, and opened to around what, 51 million?
53, depending on when people look up those numbers because of the fluctuating exchange rates. So yeah, 51 or 53 million, depending on when you do the exchange.
Right,
Which
and you
is
know if they're reporting the numbers accurately or not. You never know.
we'll take their word for it. Otherwise,
Right.
the whole system is messed up.
Okay, okay, okay.
And of course, Disney has been spinning it as the biggest Saturday opening of all time in China and the biggest weekend opening of all time in China. And some of the people who look at these things are saying, well, it's probably one of the few films that open on a Saturday in China.
Right,
In China, the release schedules are kind of wacky because films can open on a Monday, Tuesday, anytime during the week, even on
right,
Sundays.
right.
So there's
Whenever
no,
there's
yeah,
it seems like there's no planning involved. It's just like whenever a slot
yeah.
opens and you can put it in.
Yeah, whenever slot opens, whenever it's convenient, whenever the government doesn't want the foreign films to impact their local products, they'll open it on a Sunday instead of a Friday.
Right, exactly. It seems like okay, right. You have it all planned. You had your release date, and the government can come in and say, "Hey, you're not opening this movie at this time,"
Yeah,
and then they have to slot another one in.
yeah. But nonetheless,
Hmm.
irregardless of all that, 53 million is a huge number. So all this talk about how people don't know about Star Wars and Star Wars isn't big in China is just, I think, people were just a bit too, I don't know, because of how the prequels did, and I think they look at it. I think someone mentioned that all the prequels only did 18 million in China
Hmm.
combined,
Hmm.
but one thing that you have to know with China is it depends on the year that it opens. 18 million now doesn't sound like much, but depending on the years that those films open, because China's film market has grown so much year by year, like 30 to 50% every year, can't compare it to nowadays numbers. Otherwise, films from several years ago would all be complete bombs.
I
Yeah.
think what they're saying is that the Star Wars as a cultural phenomena does not exist in China, unlike here.
Well, yeah.
I think that's what they're saying. Like the Force is not strong over there. It's
Well,
as it is here.
well, I don't think the force is strong anywhere else as it is in the U.S. It is strongest in the U.S., but in China and everywhere else, I think it is strong, just not record-breakingly strong. You know what I mean? So in
Right.
China, I think they took the extreme route of super pessimistic route of, hey, they don't know about Star Wars, which is a good, if you want to ensure that it is a hit, it's a good place to start. You want to plan for the worst, and they inundated the country with music videos, lots of marketing. It worked out really well. But I think we might have to look at those prequel numbers depending on the year that they open, and it might not be as bad as they made it out to be. Because 18 million doesn't sound like much now, but people have to remember when Wumbo in the Bronx was a huge hit in China a decade or two ago, it only made 5 million. But if you were to say, hey, Wumbo in the Bronx was a huge hit in China and made 5 million, you're like, right now, 5 million is nothing when movies in China can gross 400 million.
All right. Exactly. It's just
Yeah,
times have changed. I mean, China right now
yeah.
is what the second biggest box
Film
office.
market in the world,
Yeah, film market in the world. Right.
almost at 7 billion, and they're expecting it to be the number one film market in 2017.
Right. And the young people are looking for entertainment, and if you market the movie as the event movie of the day, the week, or whenever, right? They're going to turn out for it because hey, it is what people are going to be watching and what they're going to be talking about. Regardless if the brand is strong or not, if they know that it is the film to watch, if you're into movies, then they're going to go.